Sorry. Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for Icon ELT. Give me chance to be a presenter in this webinar. At this time, I would like to present my article with the title, The Implementation of STAT Technique to Enhance Students' Reading Comprehension of 10th grade students at SMA Plus Al-Miftah Pelangaan Pamekasan. In this research, I joined with Bapak Arisandi Setiawan. We are from Universitas Islam Madura. Our research about reading, we take this research because reading is a key and an important skill to improve English competence, because reading itself is important for the learners, such as it may help them solidify the students' mastery of vocabulary, grammar, and equip of another language skills. Reading is important in helping the readers, especially for the learners, to increase knowledge because many scientific books and articles published in the international journal on the internet are written in English. Students need not only to acquire a complete knowledge of English knowledge, but also acquire a competence in understanding English text to deal with the science and technology development. Therefore, it is not arguable that reading is an extremely vital skill. There are still many students of any educational states in Indonesia who do not have adequate ability in reading, such as in unsatisfying condition is also found in SMA Al-Miftah, where the students' reading comprehension is still far from the expectation. The goal of teaching reading is stated in the curriculum, equipping the learners skill for from the expectation. The goal of teaching reading is stated in the curriculum, equipping the learners with the standard competence in understanding the written text. Has not yet been satisfactorily achieved for the students. Reading activity is boring, wasting time, and tiring. Therefore, they are not motivated in reading activity. So the teacher needs an effective method or technique in teaching reading, especially to generate the students' motivation and interest in reading text. In this research, the researcher puts forward a technique which is known as student teams achievement division or STAR technique. As one of the simplest cooperative learning techniques, STAT could be one of effective solution because it can motivate students to learn and help each other to acquire the knowledge of the material delivered by the teacher. Furthermore, STAT can also encourage students to be more active, improve self-confidence, and high motivation when they are given tasks. STAT is a cooperative learning technique which there are 5 components. Those are presenting, grouping, quizzing, improving individual rates, and recognizing. This research used classroom action research or CAR. Design in cycle process includes procedures A. Planning. In planning consists of discussion about activities such as the researcher and the collaborator prepared lesson plan applied to teach reading. Then preparing teaching activity using STAR technique, preparing instrument. Those were observation and field note. And the last, preparing the reading text to know the student's achievement both before and during the actions. Then B, action and observation. Action is a phase in which the researcher and the teacher taught the students through STAR technique. The teaching procedure was divided into one, pre-activity, that is explaining the instructional objective. explaining the short about the procedure of the technique, brainstorming to connect the students' scheme, and giving next instruction. A second main activity consists of assigning students to teams, distributing the same tests and tasks for reading, assigning students to answer the tasks, having the students to discuss in pairs, having the students share the group answer, giving quiz for individuals, checking the result of the quiz, and announcing the result of the test. The third activity is prose activity, consists of assigning the students to review the material and assigning the learners to compose the comprehension conclusion about the material. C. Setting the criteria success. There are two major success which are used to determine the criteria of success. First, individual score, that is, students was categorized successful if got score at least 70%. This was in accordance with the minimum passing grade criterion, which has been determined by the school. And second, classical score, that is the criterion of success in classical score, was 85%. It means that the class was considered success if there are 85% of the total number of the students in the class who managed to attain at least 70 in average. The observation. In the observation use instrument, observation sheet, the function is to collect the data of the students during the process of teaching and learning. Second, field notes. It is to record the students based on what the researcher heard, saw, experienced, taught in the class. It contains the weakness and the strength to the teaching and learning process by using STAT. And the last observation use instrument, the quiz. It is to know the student speaking improvement after being taught by using taking stick in every cycle. The reflection, the strength and weak point, the motion were revised and the teacher prepared revised plan to do the next cycle. Decided whether the implementation, the action meet the standards of achievement or not. If one or more indicators did not show, the researcher conduct the next cycle with the lesson plan that had been revised. Then the finding of the research in cycle 1 shows the criteria success at the rates of 85% had not been achieved because there are only 59% of the student total number were passed the minimal score, and in cycle 2, the students who passed the reading test were 21 students of 77%, meanwhile the students who failed were only 6 or 22%. However, it could not be concluded that the study was successful as it had not reached the minimum criteria of score of success. In the cycle 3, shows the result of the students' reading comprehension mastery, in which from 24 out of 27 students or 88% had passed the minimum standard level. Meanwhile, the students who failed were only 3 or 12%, and therefore it could conclude that the study was successful. So from this research can be conclusion that based on the research result, the conclusion is that teaching technology, start conventional technology and achievement motivation have a significant impact on students' reading comprehension performance. Thank you very much.